Yeah.
Yes, Bhante. Okay, Bhante, we have two questions from last time that we can address this week. The first one is, Bhante, can you please talk about meditation on emptiness, like in Chula Sunata Sutta? When is it recommended to meditate on emptiness?
When you do practice meditation on emptiness,
Yes.
when we do this,
Can you talk about this meditation on emptiness?
yes. Meditation on emptiness. Emptiness is in Chula Sunyata Sutta and Mahasunyata Sutta, Buddha explained very clearly, empty of. In Chula Sunyata Sutta, Buddha said, suppose he addressed monks. Monks, if all these trees, plants in this forest disappear, then you would notice only the houses. When houses disappear, you will notice only the people. When people disappear, you will notice the clouds. When the cloud disappear, you will notice the sky. And then in the sky, if all the planets, the stars, all disappear, you will see emptiness. Similarly, when greed, hatred, and delusion completely vanishes from our mind, you will see greedless, hateless, delusion-free mind. That is called empty. In meditation, in other way of doing it, that is one way. That is one sunyata, one emptiness. The other way is when you meditate, you attain the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. They are called material jhanas. They are called material jhanas because we use some material object like the breath, the plant, the kasina, earth kasina, water kasina, and so forth, kasina and nectars. Using them, we gain concentration. And therefore, that concentration has levels. That concentration is called jhana, where you overcome all the five hindrances, greed, anger, restlessness and worry, sleepiness and drowsiness and doubt. These are the hindrances. When you overcome them, you attain the first jhana, vitakka, vichara, priti, sukha, ekaggata. That is initial application, sustained application of thought, joy, happiness, and concentration. So 5 factors you overcome and 5 factors you cultivate. All you do dependent on some material object. And then you go to the second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. Therefore, they are called material jhanas. When you attain the material jhanas, you master all the material, each jhana, like avajjana, samapajjana, adhijjana, ujjhana, patyavajjana, so forth. And when you master it, again and again and again, you will develop jhana and overcome all your mental factors temporarily. And then attain the fourth jhana, where all you have is concentration and equanimity, and mindfulness and equanimity, concentration and so forth. Then you are tired of that also when you do the 5 types of mastery. then you get rid of all material objects from your mind. Then you focus the mind on empty space. That is called akasananchayatana. When you focus the mind on empty space, then you later on master that also in 5 ways, and then you tired of this, you go to the second level of arupa. That is called vijnana ayatana. At that time you will only have consciousness, vijnana. All you have in your mind is consciousness. And then you master that also. Then you come to the third level where you find emptiness. That is another way of finding emptiness. And in final analysis, emptiness is raga, dosa, moha, greed, hatred, and delusion. All these are totally, completely vanished from your mind. That is what is called attaining Nibbana. Nibbana is signless, animitta, appanita, sunyata. Sunyata is emptiness. When you attain emptiness, you also have signlessness and wishlessness. No wish for anything whatsoever. No sign of greed, hatred, delusion whatsoever. You have 100% total perfect peace that prevails in your mind. That is the final emptiness. That answers your question? Okay.
Okay, so the next question that we had on the chat from last time is, how can you erase or lessen the bad karma that are resulting from your present or from your past lives?
That also is a good question. We commit wholesome, unwholesome, imperturbable karma. Wholesome karma, unwholesome karma, imperturbable karma. Wholesome karma is practicing generosity, morality, meditation, practicing metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, equanimity. Practicing all these things is called that we are practicing wholesome karma. Wholesome karma produces wholesome result. In this life we commit wholesome karma. In next life we have wholesome result. And then next life we commit more wholesome karma. And then we have more wholesome result. And then commit more wholesome karma. This you commit more wholesome, get more wholesome. So you go on committing wholesome karma again and again and again and again. There is no end to that. That is called wholesome karma's benefit. And then unwholesome karma, of course, you all know. When you kill, steal, commit sexual misconduct, and lying and so forth, this unwholesome karma, you have unwholesome result. Now, you want to end both wholesome and unwholesome. Because this is going on and on and on and on and never to end. And there is another karma called karma kriya karma. Karma destroying karma. I bet if I ask you, what is karma that destroys karma? Karma that destroys, you have to bring this to an end. And therefore there must be certain karma that brings all this to an end. That is the best thing we have to do. And that is the only thing we have to do. Committing that karma destroying karma. What is that karma destroying karma? Noble Eightfold Path. When you commit Noble Eightfold Path, right understanding, right thinking, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, are wholesome karmas. Each of them reduce our potential of committing karma. Number one, right understanding. What is the right understanding? Understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Friends, you may say, I understand Four Noble Truths just theoretically. You are not understanding Four Noble Truths. If you understand Four Noble Truths, you won't be here. You won't be in this life. We don't understand Four Noble Truths perfectly. When you understand the Four Noble Truths, that alone is enough for you to attain full enlightenment. That is what Venerable Sariputta mentioned in Samma Ditthi Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 10, Sutta number 9. Sutta number 9. Samma Ditthi Sutta. If we understand, we understand 16 ways of Four Noble Truths combined with dependent origination, we attain full enlightenment. We don't have to commit any other karma. Then you will go beyond karma, beyond good and evil. After that, you don't commit good, nor do you commit bad, evil. So that is the karma we have to commit. That is one of the 8 and one of the 16 steps. I don't have time to explain. I gave series of talk, I think about more than 16 weeks. I gave talk on this topic. Okay, next question.
The next question is something I wanted to ask you, Bhante. Yesterday, you said that there are people who can and will attain the state of Sotapanna in this life, and there are others that cannot make it, no matter how hard they try. And my question is, why can't everyone that is sincerely dedicated to the practice of Dhamma, so for example, who tries their hardest to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, why can't they attain it in this very life? Is it because of karma? Like, you know, that story that we read about Ajatasattu, who murdered his father, King Bimbisara, and then even though he heard the Dhamma from the Buddha himself, he could not attain stream entry because of that heavy karma. So why is it that, you know, many people really try and they still can't make it?
Yes, that also is a good question. Our spiritual development is not all equal. Your spiritual development is different from mine, and her spiritual development is different from his. His development is different from, like that. Each and every person's development of spiritual faculties are different. What are the spiritual faculties? Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. These 5 spiritual faculties. Faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. These are spiritual faculties. Each person is, suppose somebody's faith is more than others, other faculties, more faithful. Other works very hard, is striving hard. That person's virya, energy is very high, and so forth. And therefore, depending on the growth and the level of these spiritual faculties, person can attain enlightenment quickly or slowly. That's number one. If somebody has all the spiritual faculties perfectly complete and just wait only for listening to one short Dhamma sermon, he can attain, or he or she attain enlightenment. That is one thing. Second thing is, there are karma varna, vipaka varna. There are two types of preventions. That is, if somebody has committed very, very bad karma, like committing 5 heinous karma, pancha anantari karma, killing mother, killing father, killing Maran, and wounding the Buddha with malicious intention, and breaking the unity of Sangha, schism. And if somebody has committed this crime, that person cannot attain enlightenment in this life. That is karma. Vipaka means somebody has committed some karmas in the past, some other karmas, they have to bear their fruit before they exhaust. And if that is very heavy in his mind, he or she cannot attain. These are the reasons why we all cannot attain enlightenment at the same time. Different people have different temperaments, different education, different background, different genes, different spiritual faculties, and so forth. Therefore, and some of them, their spiritual faculties not developed, karmas are very heavy, and in this life they cannot attain enlightenment at all. But what they practice in this life will help them attain enlightenment in next life, or life after that, and so on. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Bhante. The next question is from the chat. It says in the Kalakarma Sutta, the Buddha used the word namanati. Dite databan namanati. What does it mean? Namanati.
What is the word?
I'm not sure. It says namanati.
Namanyati.
Namanati?
Yeah. Maybe it's
I asked the question Namanyati.
yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
I think you may ask the person to clarify.
Okay.
As far as I remember in
There's
the
no
Kalama Sutta,
Okay.
I don't remember, it is in Anguttara Nikaya, number 10.
Okay.
But I don't remember this particular word.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bhante. The next question is again about karma. When there are unexpected and rare good events that happen, for example, you're winning the lottery, is this due to karma?
You win a lottery?
Yeah, is this due to karma?
And is it due to karma? Actually, I cannot answer it definitely. It is possible. It is possible out of millions of people, one with the lottery. Perhaps that is possible. The person has a very good karma. That is possible, but I cannot say definitely it is so. It is possible.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is, Bhante, if somebody who provides me with material needs, but at the same time is a bad influence for my sila, and even for my deity. What can I do until I'm able to withdraw from this person? So the person is a material provider, provides for this person, but at the same time, they're a bad influence for maintaining sila. How do you withdraw from a person like this?
The person provides you with material things
Yeah.
with bad intention.
Yeah, but they're kind of like a bad influence. You cannot maintain sila. They kind of influence you the bad.
I think if you are very conscious about the influence, by all means try to cut down and avoid it. It is best not to use something unethical, immoral, any material that anybody can give you. For instance, somebody stole a property, somebody's property and give you. You know that it is stolen property. On two grounds it is too bad. One is bad karma. Second is you will be caught by the police. So you will be prosecuted in this very life and you will be in trouble.
Okay. I don't see any other questions in the chat.
Maybe there's a question from the audience.
We have a question from the audience.
Yeah, sure. So Bhante, you're talking about the 5 spiritual faculties. Do you think it's better to sort of play to your strengths and lean on faculties you're maybe stronger at, or is it better to sort of like cultivate your weaker faculties?
It is better to develop these faculties rather than remain stagnant. You develop all of them in balance, not ups and downs. Not that one faculty at the expense of the other. All the faculties must be balanced. Balancing faculty is mindfulness. Other 4 have ups and downs, and so, for instance, your faith is more than your concentration, or concentration is more than the faith, or your effort is greater than your faith or concentration. Then the mindfulness intervenes and put them in balance. And therefore, all these faculties must be balanced to achieve the goal. That is always the case with the factors of enlightenment. There are 3 factors, very soft, 3 factors very strong. So mindfulness is in the center, balancing these factors. Yeah.
We just have another question from the chat. It's again about karma. Are animals creating bad karma when they kill another animal? Or is it less of a bad karma because they don't have more capacity like human beings?
The animals, it doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. The karma doesn't vary according to the size and shape and development of the animal. It is the intention to deprive that animal of its life. Deprivation of any life, of any shape, any size, is bad karma. It can be long, large, small, short, sudden, this and that. Doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. But the intention, there are 5 factors you need to complete bad karma, even good karma. What are the 5 factors? There has to be a living being. Number 1. Number 2, that you should know that it is a living being. Number 3, you use the device, a method. Number 4, using that particular method. Number 5 is intention. If you don't have intention, or if all the other 4 factors are complete, you have not completed your karma, bad karma. And therefore, it is not the size of the living being, but the completion of these 5 factors.
But take a tiger, for example. He probably doesn't think I have the intention to deprive this goat or whatever of its life, but it's hungry, right? So its intention is to satisfy its hunger, but still it knows it's a living being. It knows that if it pounces on the creature, it's going to kill it. And so it seems like it almost satisfies these 5 things, but it has to kill it in order to survive.
That is among animals.
Yeah.
Among animals,
Yeah.
we actually don't talk about what animals do. Animals do, animals think, and they commit more and more bad karma. Being animal is bad enough, and that animal commit more bad karma, then animal will go on perpetually life after life, being born as animal. But human beings are evolved above animal level, and therefore human beings have all the power, strength to make a decision. Animals don't have that. It is unfortunate to be born as an animal. Once you are born as an animal, you have no chance to commit wholesome karma. And it may take many, we don't know how many thousands of lives for the animals to come out of animal's realm until his bad karma in the previous lives is completely exhausted. That animal continue to be born as animal.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, that it's so hard to get out of this animal reverse cycle.
Very hard, very hard.
Okay. The next question, I think, is something you explained before, but maybe we could again talk about it. Bhante, is it bad karma to criticize a monastic who preaches wrong dhamma?
Yes. If a person criticizes monastics unjustly, without seeing, knowing, understanding all facts and figures, just criticize for the sake of criticism is very bad. But if the person very cordially, kindly, face to face, criticize with the intention of correcting him out of compassion, that is a very good thing to do. A very compassionate person has to do that. But if somebody, without knowing anything through mere hearsay, criticizes something, somebody, is too bad. It's a bad karma. Yeah.
What if the thought crosses your mind, like you're annoyed with somebody that may be a monastic, and but you don't say it, you just think it because you cannot control your thought. That thought popped into your mind. What's that karma like?
That is only mental karma, not verbal or physical. And you also can remedy that unwholesome karma when you think. As soon as that unwholesome thought arises in the mind, become immediately mindful. have clear comprehension, and then look at the mind. Then you know, I have this thought. I have not implemented the thought. I have not put thought into action. If thought arose in the mind, then immediately become mindful, have clear comprehension, and then you must think, this thought is hurting me. This thought prevents me from my higher development, gaining concentration, developing mindfulness. Therefore, I should not develop this thought. Moreover, I really don't know whether the person is right or wrong, whether the person is under the influence of some other sickness, something has happened to the person, and therefore the person may be behaving this way. I don't have all the facts and figures in hand to make a decision. Therefore, it is not fair for me to have to sustain this thought in my mind. I must let it go. That way you can control your mind faculty, mind, your mental state, and then you get.
Yeah, it seems like in the Abhidhamma we read about the three personality type. You have the deluded, you have the greedy, and then you have the aversive. It seems that this method would be particularly suitable for the aversive personality.
Yeah, even in suttas, abhijja, abhijja, vyapada, micchaditya, wrong mental state. Abhijja means unrighteous greed, greed for somebody's property. Abhijja. Vyapada is anger. It is much higher or deeper, more serious than anger. Vyapada means perpetually continuous thought of hate is called vyapada. That's very, very bad. That eats you up and makes you very unhappy, unpleasant. And if you die with that thought, with intense greed and hatred, definitely you will be reborn in a very, very bad state, like demon, like tiger, venomous snake, like that. Therefore, it is very bad. And micchaditthi also is just a thought. But that is more dangerous than any other mental karma. Because with wrong interpretation, wrong understanding, you say something, you act according to that. And then you influence others. When your mind is poisoned, you poison other people's mind. And therefore, micchaditthi is very, the most dangerous. That's what I must say.
Thank you, Bhante. Yes, Bhante, could you please explain the third precept, the central misbehavior in the sixth Mano Dhamma, in the context of Mano Dhamma? Explain the third precept about central misbehavior.
Mano karma.
Mano Dhamma.
Yes, misbehavior.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the question, but
yes.
The question is about explaining the third precept, central misbehavior. And the person is asking in the sixth sense in the context of Mano Dhamma.
Yes. Mental misbehavior, misconduct, sensual misconduct, that is the third precept. Kamesu micchācāra is a bad karma. It is bad in many sense. Emotional, spiritual, material sense, it is very, very bad. Because you violate somebody's privacy, you make the other person embarrassed, you bring bad reputation, and you will inflict pain in others. When some girls, particularly when they were young, some adults rape them, and that child's entire life is ruined, and that child, when grows up, that scar in the mind remains for the rest of that girl's life, and she will always have pain in mind, and then she remembers this experience, and that person is very, very mean, evil. And therefore, the third precept is a very dangerous precept, the conditional precept. Conditional precept means you have legal way of satisfying the senses, legal way. But this is going out of the legal way. You are doing illegally, unethically, immorally. And therefore, it's a very bad karma, very bad karma. Not only Buddhist, in any civilized society, any cultured society, this is condemned, looked down upon, nobody approves it, and therefore, in every sense of the term, it is bad, 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 evil, evil, evil. No question, no excuse for that. So, I think normally our questions and answer period is limited to half an hour. We went a little beyond half an hour. So now the rest of the time we meditate. And now you will stay where you are, don't go away. Only for half an hour we meditate together. Okay, this is a very good opportunity for all of you. Okay? All right, let us begin meditation.
For the missing questions that haven't been answered today, I copied them and we can ask them next time.
Okay. I ring this bell and then I recite metta recital on behalf of all of you, and then I give some instructions on meditation, and so we all meditate together. Among us, there are people, experienced meditators, and they may bear with me because if there are newcomers, they need some instructions. And while I'm giving instructions, everybody meditate. Okay? At the end, I ring the bell. At the beginning, I ring the bell. In between, I give instructions and we meditate. Yeah. There are some buttons there. And somebody turn off that light at the back. Right. May all beings happy and secure. May all beings happy mind, have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother risks her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever we, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divine living here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. With this metta thought in the background, let us focus our mind on our breathing, noticing inhaling as inhaling, exhaling as exhaling, without verbalizing or conceptualizing, and let the breath flow in and out. The breath is so pure and simple, common to all living beings, keeping all of us alive, very soft and gentle, universal, but focus mind on that breath. If the breath happens to be long, be aware of long breath. If it is short, be aware of short breath. And notice the entire breath from the beginning to the end. As you breathe in and out, when you keep focusing mind on the breath, first you may notice the gross breath, and slowly and gradually, gross breath becomes subtle breath. If mind wanders here and there, bring it back to the breath and keep the mind focused on the breath. As the breath becomes subtler and subtler and subtler, you may come to a point where breath is unnoticeably subtle. At that time, sometimes people might fall asleep. Sleepiness is quite very sweet, but sleepiness will not bring any insight, will not bring any insight. Therefore, try to stay awake. In order to get rid of sleepiness, you may visualize very bright light, and sleepiness fades away. If mind wanders again, bring it back to the breath. If any desire or greed arises, if you remember some delicious food, beautiful sight, sound, smell, and so on, greed arises, you have to let go of greed, thinking that we have had so many of them in the past, they all disappeared. Very pleasant sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and all these are gone. When they arise now, even now they go away very soon, and that is their nature. And therefore we can have all these things later when we finish this meditation. If any resentment or anger, disappointment arises, remember the metta thoughts, loving, friendly thoughts, just as all living beings breathe, all living being needs metta, friendliness. So we try to think that every one of us is friendly with everybody else. Those who are sitting behind are our friends. Sitting in front of us are our friends. Sitting on sides are our friends. All of us living here are friends. And all in this building, this property, are our friends. All in this county are our friends. All this in this district are our friends. All in this country are our friends. Everybody in the whole universe are our friends. You will develop this friendly feeling, friendly thought in our mind. And then we slowly gain concentration. So stay with that concentration without falling asleep. Now we'll do meditation for a very short time, maybe 15 minutes. Nattiyanam Panyasa Panyanati Adhaito Yam Viyanante Panyati Sverimbana Santike. There is no concentration without wisdom, no wisdom without concentration. One who has both wisdom and concentration is close to peace and emancipation. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings ascend in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I have my metta wish every Sunday after meditation, every Sunday and Saturday. May all those who are suffering in hospitals taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses and hospital staffs, may they relieve from their suffering and attain liberation. May doctors, nurses and hospital staffs who are risking their lives, sacrificing their comfort to take care of these patients, may they also find ways to practice Dhamma, meditation, and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May those who are in various trouble spots like war songs, discriminations, poverty-stricken areas, and all kind of going through all kind of suffering, may they be relieved from them, find ways to practice meditation and attain liberation. May all those whose categories I have not mentioned may find peace and happiness, especially those who lost their loved ones, who have been grieving the loss of their loved ones. May they be free from grief and find peace and happiness, liberate from samsaric suffering. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. Thank you for coming and continue your practice and try to attain liberation from suffering. Okay.
Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu,
Peruan
sadhu.
Sarnai.
Thank you, Bhante.